I was just thinking that my mom picks out the best clothes for me because my style is so plain. Her style is so good. But I was doing this daily challenge. I'm on day 13. Today's challenge is daily guidance. And so that's my spread there. Now I'm on 4. So 4 is that card there. And the question basically says, what can help me connect with my spirit guides? So what can help me connect with my spirit guides? What is it? 2 of Wands. And I'm using this book by Sarah Shetman. And hold on, I'm gonna get the 2 of Wands. Okay. Okay, and then mine came in reverse. So they have a part in there that says reversed. Alright. I'm gonna put y'all over here. And then y'all can look at that. Okay. So it says 2 of Wands, Sarah Graham, 1792 to 1873, United States. Angela Graham, 1805 to 1879, United States. Key aspects: reversed, shyness, silence, rigidity. Upright, outspokenness, courage, decision making, progress. Sisters Sarah and Angela Graham were unlikely abolitionists. Their father, John F. Graham, was a rich plantation owner, a judge for the South Carolina Supreme Court, and a slave owner. Sarah, 13 years, Angela's elder, witnessed cruel punishment inflicted on her family's slaves when they were young. And from then on, unlike the rest of her family, she opposed slavery. She made attempts to teach her family slaves to read and write and act that her family and the law strictly prohibited. She did teach Hetty, the young woman assigned to her to be her personal maid, to read and write. When her parents discovered this, Hetty was whipped. Sarah longed for a better education and to study the law, as her father had done. Judge Graham often remarked that if only Sarah had been a boy, writes Pamela R. DeRosso in her book The Power of Women, she would have been the best jurist in the land. Because of her gender, her opportunities for education were limited, and her design on a law career were dashed. As daughters of an upper-class family, Sarah and Angelina were expected to be proper ladies who sought similarly well-to-do husbands. But Sarah and Angelina were deeply attached to each other, in part because of their inborn intellect and their shared compassion for the other. By 1829, the sisters had settled in Philadelphia and became members of the Orthodox Meeting of Quakers. They were attracted to the group's faith and liberal views on human rights. To their chagrin, the Grimm sisters learned that the Quakers were not eager to participate in the burning hot debate on slavery. In 1835, Angelina wrote a letter to the editor of the abolitionist newspaper, The Liberator. If we call upon the slaveholder to suffer the loss of what he calls property, then let us show him we make this demand from a deep sense of duty. by being ourselves willing to suffer the loss of character, property, yeah, and life itself, and what we believe to be the cause of bleeding humanity. The editor printed the letter without her knowledge, and its publication didn't please the Quakers, who expected those in the congregation to defer to its social codes and beliefs rather than act independently. The letter did launch her writing career, though. In 1836, Angelina wrote a tract appealed to Christian women of the South, which called on the women to reject slavery both because its practice contradicted the Declaration of Independence and because it was against the teaching of the Christian faith. In 1837, Sarah penned a series of writings that came to be known as Letters on the Equality of the Sexes, which defended a woman's rights, among others, to share her views publicly, as she believed that men and women had been created equal and that women were made inferior not by nature but by the schemes of men. In 1837, the publisher of The Liberator, William Lloyd Garrison, welcomed Sarah and Angelina into his abolitionist organization, the American Anti-Slave Society. As part of the society's efforts, the Grimm sisters toured Massachusetts, New York, and New Jersey, delivering public lectures about their firsthand knowledge of slavery and the American South. Angelina grew to be a forceful public speaker. In February 1838, she and Sarah arrived in Boston to deliver an anti-slavery petition signed by 20,000 women to state the legislature. Dressed in plain gray dresses, 33-year-old Angelina delivered a deeply felt speech to the Congressman of Massachusetts, becoming the first woman ever to do so. I stand before you as a Southerner, exiled from the land of my birth by the sound of the lash and the prejudiced cries, not the prejudice, and the petitious cry of the slave, said Angelina. I stand before you as a repentant slaveholder. She said, I stand before you as a repentant slaveholder. I stand before you as a moral being. And as a moral being, I feel that I owe it to the suffering slave and to the deluded master, to my country, and to the world to do all that I can do to overturn a system of complicated crimes. In 1838, Angelina married a formidable anti-slave orator, Theodore Weld, who helped the sisters develop their public speaking skills. At first, they spoke against slavery to female audiences only, which caused a stir, as it was considered improper for women to speak publicly during the time, even to other groups of women. But when their speeches began to draw in men, people, even ardent abolitionists, began to oppose their work simply because they were women openly expressing their views. As a result of the public reaction to their activism and experiences, Sarah and Angelina soon found themselves advocating not only for abolition, but also for women's rights. In fact, they're among the first women to speak out on these issues. After 1838, the Grimm sisters retired from public speaking and continued their activism through writing. Sarah lived with Angelina and Theodore, where the two women assisted Weld in researching for his book, American Slavery as It Is, 1839. The sisters made their living as teachers and opened up a school within their home. Some of their students were the children of other abolitionists like Elizabeth Cady Stanton. Sarah and Angelina Graham looked at their world and demanded that it change. The two of wands affirms that you have already started on your personal path. There's still a long road ahead, but you can feel confident about the progress you've made thus far. As you move forward, you will be given the information you need to be clear about what you need to do. This card's appearance in your reading might indicate that you need to travel somewhere new to gain a different perspective. A change might be needed, a new home, a new circle of friends, for you to continue manifesting your desires and goals. The Two of Wands asks, what can you see around you that needs to change? What do you need to do personally to facilitate this? What will these plans, changes, and actions ultimately help attain your desires? How will these plans, changes, and actions ultimately help you attain your desires? So the Two of Wands is what can help me connect to my spirit guides? So does it mean like